I believe there are two types of authors, those with a passion for their writing and those with a passion for their message. And my passion is my message. The media is portraying a very unrealistic message for girls, an unrealistic look, the ideal of how you should be, and that's a lot of pressure on girls on how they need to look, how they need to act, and so many feel they can't live up to those expectations. Well, I like to teach self-esteem from the inside out. So many materials do the opposite. They work from the outside in, such as saying, oh, if you repeat an affirmation often enough, it'll eventually sink in and it might make a change. Well, unfortunately, it never does. By going from the inside out, you reach them at their core, where self-esteem really begins. Because the important thing is, not only do you have to think it, you really have to feel it and believe it, and feel it right here in your heart. I call it the when-then theory. When I lose weight, then I'll be happy. When I get a boyfriend, then I'll be happy. And you can fill in get a new car, a new job, take that trip to Hawaii, then I'll be happy. But the problem is, then happens, and you're still not happy. And you put yourself in a very vulnerable position that way, because the cycle just continues and continues and continues when you look outside of yourself for your worth. And teenage girls are very susceptible to this. I mean, it's proven by the statistics of depression and eating disorders, substance abuse, and even suicide. My goal is to reach girls before the issues start, building a foundation in them during the preteen years so that when adolescence reaches, they have a much stronger foundation. It's like the tree whose roots are strong, healthy, firmly planted in the ground. A hurricane can come by, and yes, you might get tousled about, but you're still standing. You're still strong, and you're still able to make solid choices. The reason I'm so passionate about getting this message out is because I want to teach girls what I now know and wish I had had back then. I didn't always make smart choices, and I didn't always have healthy self-esteem. I struggled for years when I was young with self-esteem issues. And ironically, I put myself in an industry that was very externally focused and very challenging to your self-esteem. I was very connected to what I looked like, especially in the modeling industry. I was very connected to external appearances. I thought I was identified by my face, my body, my clothes, my accomplishments. I was doing the when-then, looking to things to make me happy, whether it was other people, an event, an accomplishment, a material possession. But it was interesting because the more I looked and the more I got those things, the less happy I became. I was asking myself, what is the truth? And where can I find this key to true happiness? Not false happiness, but true happiness. Because I wasn't finding it anywhere. And I was on a very fast pace. And it's interesting the way life is, because it definitely, they say, be careful what you ask for. You know, asking you will receive. Well, I was getting answers. But unfortunately, they were in the way of wake-up calls. And I actually had one wake-up call that changed my life. It was the worst night of my life. I was in the peak of my modeling career, and I wasn't able to walk on a runway because of my injuries. The lower half of my face was numb and took time to heal. But you know, it was the emotional healing that took the longest. And I went into a very dark place. And but it was in that darkness that I actually found a gift. I learned so much. I learned so much about myself because I no longer had me as I knew me. You know, I no longer had the body that I recognized before. As I said, it took time to heal, and I was forced to stop in my tracks and really see what else was out there. And in doing so, I went on this path, this inner journey in which I accessed a part of me that I hadn't accessed before. And it was there that I found my true self, who I truly was. I was able to peel back all the layers that had accumulated all through the years of these false illusions that I had identified myself with. And at the core of this raw self was me, my true self, but it was beautiful. And it was this glorious and beautiful me. And I felt so much more content, so much more at peace, so much more secure, so much more confident. Much more so than in the times when I was wearing the most beautiful, expensive designer clothes or had the best hair and makeup people. Where it was me and only me, my true self. And it was a really wonderful place to be. As I was in this much more secure place, I thought, how can I teach what I now know, what I now have, to others? How can I teach this to girls? What if they could have this sense of themselves early on? Could they avoid some of the challenges they go through? And as I evolved, I found that my message evolved. As I was working with women and girls, I was talking more about who we truly are within, in our inner beauty. And I wanted to reach more. And so the idea of an empowering book series came into my mind. And I researched it. There was nothing else like it. And I thought, I'm going for it. Taking a complete leap of faith, and I'm going to do this. Well, I have 6 books planned for the Heartlight Girls series. In each of the books, the girls will connect with their heart light and with that part of themselves that is always present, never changing, where their strength lies, which is what I feel is within their heart. It's become my passion. I've sacrificed so much to get this message out, but it's because I believe so fully in it. If I can help others who are trapped by their misconceptions of themselves become free and empowered, then it's all worth it. Absolutely.